morning, I'm Duane from Travel by the Book, traveling alone today in Elmira, New York. You know, I've always been a huge fan of Mark Twain, and I've always loved visiting the various sites associated with him, but I've never yet made it to Elmira until right now. So I'm excited to see this historic town and the various sites associated with Mark Twain that are here. So come along with me. We'll check it out. In this episode, we'll visit Elmira College's mini exhibits celebrating Mark Twain, including his study, where he wrote many of his most famous works. We'll look at the Quarry Farm, the Clements family home away from home, and we'll pay our respects to his final resting place. In 1870, Samuel Clemens married Olivia Langdon from the prominent Langdon family of Elmira, New York. When they married, he vowed he would never keep her far from home, and so they returned to the family's Quarry Farm every summer. Olivia was a graduate of Elmira College, and it's there where we will start our tour. Olivia Langdon Clemens was Mark Twain's wife. She was a graduate from Elmira College, class of 1864. Grew up here. The Langdons had a mansion, which is now demolished, but it would have been part of this campus if it was still standing. And the Quarry Farm is just up the hill. I'm on the campus of Elmira College, and this interestingly shaped building behind me is called the Octagonal Study. It's located here on the campus of Elmira College, and it's been here since the late 50s. But originally it was built on the Quarry Farm, which was owned by Mark Twain's wife's Olivia's older sister. And for years, for decades, Mark Twain and his family would summer with his sister-in-law, and they spent a few years just living here all together. Eventually, the family built this structure for Samuel Clemens, for Mark Twain. It was somewhere between 100 to 200 yards from the actual home, and he could go out there and just write in peace and enjoy a lovely view over the valley. In this building, Mark Twain wrote large portions of Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, and Life on the Mississippi.
So for a reason that this study was built, he stays in Elmira during the summers, and he writes quite a bit, but he would also smoke quite a bit. This was originally located at his sister-in-law's house, and so she did not want the smoking in the house because he would smoke 30 to 40 cigars a day. And people are always quite shocked when you're like, how is that even possible? So the reason that this study was built was to get the smoking out of the house. Wow, so it wasn't like, hey, we love you, here's a great retreat for your home, for your writing. It was, don't you dare smoke in the house. Yes.
Anyway, so this is holy ground. This is an actual building where some of the greatest works of American literature were created. We have a docent inside who's just a local resident, but it's free of charge just to come and stop and take a visit. For 20 years, Mark Twain spent almost every summer here in Elmira, up on the hill, writing books in this study here. Each one of his 3 daughters were born here, and his wife and himself, and he and his wife are both buried nearby, and we'll visit their graves in just a bit. And as well as his niece, was one of the early teachers here at Elmira College, and it's due to her that they have this study. Okay, we're going into Cowles Hall right now. It's spelled C-O-W-L-E-S. It's right, just kitty corner from the, well, it's just right next to the octagonal den, the Mark Twain Study. And in this building, there's a nice little permanent display talking about Mark Twain, talking about the Langdon family and their influence on his life as well as on this community and this college. And right next door, within the same building, there's a chapel with some interesting Mark Twain information as well. There's a really cool big like entryway here. It's another octagonal sort of shape leading to the other exhibits. Interesting, the exhibit here has a male, it says Mark Twain exhibit men, and if we come over here it says Mark Twain exhibit female, and I originally thought that there was a reason for men to go down one side and women to go down the other side, but it's just this is the direction for the restrooms, so I can be stupid. Okay, this chapel is beautiful. On the bottom floor, there's great stained glass windows celebrating, I don't know, values of Elmira perhaps. But I'm going upstairs now because I don't see where that Mark Twain stained glass is. I know I've seen pictures of it and I've read about it, but I don't know where it is. So I'm gonna find it for you so you don't have to wonder. Here you can see at the end of this hall we have Olivia Clemens. And over on the opposite side we have Mark Twain. There's Mark Twain with the octagonal study behind him. Okay, so I'm in the Peterson Chapel. There are stained glass windows depicting both Livy Clemens, which is straight down there, and right over my my right shoulder there, Mark Clemens. You're going to have to, or Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain. You're going to have to climb up to the second floor gallery to take a really good look at those. But don't miss out, because it's definitely a cool part of your Elmira Mark Twain experience. Okay, so I'm going to head up to Quarry Farm, which is just up the hill from Elmira University, or Elmira College. This is the farm that Olivia's older sister inherited from their father in like the late 1860s, and to which Mark Twain, Olivia, and the family went to every summer for about 20 years. In the 80s, the Langdon family donated the Quarry Farm to Elmira College and established the Center for Mark Twain Studies. As part of that donation, they stipulated that the farm would not be open to the public. It wouldn't be like a museum or something like that. So we can't go up and see it. What it is, it's a location where scholars and authors can receive a residency and they spend up to a few weeks to a few months here studying. There's this immense archive of Mark Twain information, papers, books that are associated with the farm as well as with the library at Elmira, and so it's a place where people are working on studying Mark Twain. However, there is this lovely plaque here, and it turns out, I didn't know this till I got here, but it turns out we could just walk down the road here and get a pretty nice look at the farm without disturbing anybody. That said, if you want to get a better look at the Quarry Farm, the best thing you can do is go to their website, the Center for Mark Twain Studies, and they have events up here throughout the year. They have conferences and symposia where they have lectures and other different events that have to do with Mark Twain Studies and the world that he lived in. And if your timing is good, you might be able to get tickets and come and participate in one of those events, which is on the property. There's a barn back there that they've converted to a lecture hall, and so that's a great opportunity. There's generally I know a conference that they hold in early August, which is actually just next week, but my timing is horrible, and also in the fall in October, and things throughout the year. They also hold lectures at the Peterson Chapel that we were in earlier. Now, behind me you can see the Quarry Farm, and to the left, about 100 yards out, is where the octagonal study would have been. So we're standing in the midst of the place where Mark Twain wrote Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, and other great works. This is interesting, Hal Roach on Locust Avenue. Not sure I want to go down there. All right, so we're going to end our Elmira Mark Twain experience with a stop at his final resting place. The grave is easy to find. The cemetery there's signs throughout the town talking about where the cemetery is. Once you get to the cemetery, there's signs directing you to the grave site itself. So I'm walking up to the Langdon plot, which is well maintained and a very public space. I'm not a fan of leaving flowers. I think it's a waste of a good flower, but I do really like the idea of leaving a stone. This is a stone I got from a trail near my home in Salem, Utah. I wish I could say I picked it up from the shore of the Mississippi. That would be great. I'm going to leave that right here on Samuel Clemens headstone right here. It says Samuel Langhorne Clemens, Mark Twain, 1835 to 1910. His wife is buried right next to him. In this grave repose the ashes of Olivia Langdon, the beloved and lamented wife of Samuel L. Clemens, who reverently raises the stone to her memory. He also had two daughters who died before he did, and they're both buried right next to them right here. Susie Clemens died when she was 24. It says, "Warm summer sun shine kindly here, warm summer winds blow softly here. Green sod above, lie lightly, lie light. Good night, dear heart, good night, good night." And next to her is Jean Clemens, who died on Christmas Eve, just a few years before Mark Twain died. Jean Lamson Clemens, a most dear daughter, her desolate father sets the stone. After life's fitful fever, she sleeps well. It is sombering to think about the Twain family and the many losses that he felt during his life. He lost his wife, he lost his daughter. His mother lived quite many years and he was close to her, and she died and around the same time that he was losing everybody. So he certainly had a sad life. When you're focusing on an author like Samuel Clemens, and you know he's buried nearby, it wouldn't make sense not to stop. I highly recommend you come here. It's a great cemetery. It's beautiful. There's other famous people here. I'm going to search in just a bit for Hal Roach, film producer, produced The Little Rascals and and Laurel and Hardy series. Oh. Hey. Hey, how are you? Well, that guy's going to give Bill Murray a hard time eventually. Well, now that we've paid our final respects, or our respects to Mark Twain's final resting place, we are going to leave Elmira, and I've got a great place to spend the night tonight. I'll tell you all about that when I get there, and then after that, in the morning, we're going to head out to Buffalo. Mark Twain spent some time in Buffalo, and there's some great things I want to show you there. So if you're in Western New York hoping to celebrate Mark Twain, don't forget to keep going to Buffalo. Don't stop at Elmira. There's more to see.